play games on Cincinnati, everybody gets 5 cards.
You guys ready?
Yep.
Okay, if you all join me in reciting the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, good morning and welcome to the, it's September 8th, Clinton County Board of Commissioners meeting. As always, the first item on our agenda is the opportunity for public comment. So, hang on a second, I'm not done. So, that being said, all we ask is that you remain brief, you remain respectful, and don't repeat something that somebody else has said. I know there's a lot of folks here this morning who want to talk about the trail, and in order to be respectful to everybody who's here and their time, we don't want to hear repeat comments. So if we can all agree on that, on those housekeeping rules, we'll go ahead with the public comment. Is everybody in agreement with that? Okay, great. So, Mr. Huffer, you raised your hand first. I don't think you hear about the trail, but...
Well, you know what I'm here for. I'm
Yep.
checking up, see what's going on.
Liz, can you take this one?
Yeah, so the Fickle case is in court actually at 9 a.m. this morning, so
Okay.
they should be convening at the same time. Last month they were supposed to be in court, but Mr. Fickle contracted COVID and therefore was excused by the judge and continued to today. I asked my staff to text me as soon as they know what the judge did and
Okay.
didn't say, but I'm not sure how long it will be until I'm here.
Okay.
So,
I need,
All right. What's your, Mr. Huffer, what's your, well,
I mean, you can walk upstairs and watch the court proceedings if
Yeah.
you'll know more than me faster, but I know it's 9 a.m. on the docket.
well, that's all I need.
all right. Good to see you, Mr. Huffer.
That's all I
Okay. The floor is open. Morning, Andy.
Good morning, Josh. Andy Bailey, live in rural Clinton County. Bunch of us are against the trail that are here today, and I'm gonna make this pretty brief. We signed a petition at the initial meeting. I've got a petition of citizens and a petition of owners. The owners actually has the parcel ID. I have the originals. You guys are more than welcome to look at this.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, I think this this trail's different. It's big and scary at the same time. You know, when you compare it to like the Colfax Trail or the Monon Trail or the one that goes on Ronald Reagan Parkway, they don't go in front of a lot of people's houses, and I think that's the biggest concern here. They cut through properties. I think the scope and the size of the project is going to be immense as far as you guys are going to hit your 5 million on that next level trails pretty quick. Just an example, the 15 miles of the Monon Trail, which is actually on a railroad bed that doesn't take a lot of grading and stuff, cost 5.5 million in 2000, and that's 8.75 million in today's dollars. You know, if you look at the Ronald Reagan Parkway between Brownsburg and Avon, I'm sure that that might go a little bit farther than that, but that's brand new road. It was cut through a lot of rural acres and didn't cut through a lot of people's actual residential property. You know, at the end of the day, I think that it's going to cost the county a lot of money, and it's going to be a forever project that we're going to constantly feed. At the minimum, you know, you look at 20 miles of trail, it's going to cost about $40,000 minimum to maintain that. And I think that's a lot of people's concerns here is trash and maintenance of the trail. That's all I've got for you guys. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
Okay, who's next? Morning.
Morning. My name's Jamie Cheney. I live in the western part of the county. I agree a lot with what Andy said. I have a couple of things too. You know, some of the points of the trail that were brought up, more health or better health for the people of Clinton County, I kind of would have to refute that. I think a lot of people wouldn't use the trail only because of the weather that we have, rain, snow. Another thing too was it would improve the environment. Actually, it would not if you take that land out of production. According to the EPA, the average car gives out about 10,143 pounds of CO2. Acre of corn will actually convert 36,000 pounds of CO2 back to oxygen. So if you did the math, it would take, for every 10 acres, 35 people would have to use the trail year-round to make up the difference. And I think that is something that we can't really afford to lose. And then my final statement is, I just ask you guys to be honest with yourself. If this trail was going in your back or front yard, changing your home and your lifestyle forever, would you approve the trail? That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Cheney. Who's next? Morning.
So my name is Emily Russ, and I live along Manson Colfax. I'm coming to you guys today as a concerned citizen as well as a parent. A lot of us have also expressed concern for the safety issues that could arise with this trail. One of those big issues being the fact that current plans show it cutting right through Clinton Prairie, right through the fencing of the elementary school playground. And so that poses a lot of issues. One, because as a teacher, are they expected then to police that fence opening? How are you going to ensure that children don't get out or that unwanted strangers get in? It can also cause an issue for the school to figure out or to make sure that unwanted individuals aren't taking children from the property. If you look at data from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, it shows that school is actually a big factor in child abductions for elementary and middle school age children. And then also as a parent who is going to live along that trail, they show that for younger children, getting abducted from outside of their home when they're outside playing or doing chores or those sort of things, for younger children than school age, that the home environment or that the home is a big factor for that. And so when you live along the trail and your kids are going to be going to the school that trail is going to cut through, I feel like my children are going to be put at a much higher risk. And then another concern is theft, right? It's a very rural area. I don't see many sheriff's cars going past that road, and that's not a dig on the sheriffs at all. It's just Clinton County's a big area, right? Sheriffs have a lot of places to go. And so when you're inviting people to move at a slower pace along there, it's easier for them to scout out the area, especially for the farmers who have, barns there, but not a homestead along with the barn, to be able to to keep track of their equipment, their chemicals, and everything else that goes along with their farming operation. And then there's also livestock along there. And so there's a safety issue with the livestock as well, of inviting pedestrians to interact with livestock. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Who's next? You're up.
Yeah, I'm Gary Neal. We own some of the property there on 28. And my concern is the liability because we spray our fields twice a year with Roundup. And I think we all know that Roundup's made the news a few times. And somebody getting off the trail, breaking a leg, whatever, there's always a chance of a lawsuit. And then the other thing, you're going to put it right at the end of the runway and maybe on the runway as the runway comes right up to the fence. I don't know how that's going to work for everybody, but that's not good. But liability is my main concern, and everybody wants to sue, and I'll be a good target for
Yeah, they do.
and like I said, Roundup's put on each crop twice a year, and everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon with the Roundup.
Oh, sure.
And I'm against it. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Neal. Excuse me. Who's next? Nobody? You guys all came. Nobody has anything else to say? Okay. All right. Okay. Well, do you guys have any comments on this? Since we've got everybody here today. I have some things to say, but if you guys want to go first, that's fine with me.
We're right now just in the study stage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay. So, I don't know if some of you, I posted on social media some of the things that this trail project is and is not, so I just wanted to clear up some things. This isn't a project that we sought out, it sought us out. This is something that's come from Governor Holcomb and his Next Level Trails project, or program, excuse me. So, I don't think any of us are married to the idea of this trail. no offense to anybody that's pro-trail, but I've got bigger fish to fry right now, so to speak. We've got a lot of things going on in Clinton County. So nobody's going to have their land taken. Nobody's going to be forced into anything. We're not going to, what were some of the other things I read? It's not a money grab. I'm not benefiting personally from it in any way, shape, or form. So right now, I think as some of you may know, I'm not particularly interested in it the way it's laid out. You know, I think these trails were made to go down the old railroad beds, was the initial idea, and that railroad bed is long gone. And, you know, this may just not be a project that's going to fit in Clinton County the way it is. Now, if we can figure out a better route that everybody's happy with, that's not going to cut through school and cut through residential properties, and we can figure out a way to respect the agricultural land without disturbing it, you know, that may be something to consider, but I'm not sure what that looks like or how we even get there. And, you know, we spent a little bit of money to study this. We paid, I believe it was Butler, Fairman, and Seifert helped us. And, you know, that's where we're at. There's no decisions been made. There's nothing to vote on. You know, so I appreciate you all being here and using your voice. We rarely get visitors at these meetings, so it's nice to see you guys. And it's nice to break the monotony up a little bit and have something else to talk about. So, you know, right now I'm not interested in this project, and that's just me. So
I would say I appreciate everyone coming out, the conversations that we had at the meeting. We many valid concerns brought up, and I think that's what I tried to share with the other two commissioners was the conversations I had at the meeting, those concerns that were expressed, and then how it would impact Clinton County and the residents in that area. So, you know, I'm in the same boat. I think we're at the point where we can continue with the study, and at that point we'll have it in our back pocket going forward because we've already paid for it. We might as well see it through. There were some good suggestions of alternative routes to have them look at, and so let's expand that scope, and instead of just looking at that one area, let's look at some other routes, and then down the line we have it available to look into deeper in the future if it's something that we want to do. But I agree with Josh right now. I am not in favor of moving forward with the grant application, just continuing with the study that we have already paid for and then stopping right there. So
I agree.
okay. So does anybody have any other questions or comments after hearing that? Yes, Mr. Neal.
What is the time frame for a yes or no or start or stop on the project? Is there a time you have to apply for the grant?
Liz, I'd have
A year or
to defer to Liz on that when the,
The grant application window for the third round of next level, I believe closes December 1st.
okay.
But I don't believe that we'll probably have the study complete since we've expanded to look at multiple possible routes. I mean, as far as I'm aware, I mean, our conversations have reflected what you guys have said. We want to expand that and then narrow back down and have a guidance document, but trying to meet that deadline doesn't seem to make sense, and I'm not sure. I mean, you never know with the state when or where, you know, things will come in the future, but there's not another deadline I'm aware of in the next year.
Any other questions?
How did
Yes.
we get the information about that? Like if it is, if it's going to be made, how do we get that? Because last time we were kind of blindsided by even the study, so how are we able to get information if something is?
Well, these meetings are recorded and they are posted on YouTube, so you can watch them. We meet twice a month. Sometimes the schedule varies a little bit. It's typically we're on a Monday or Tuesday. We're on a Wednesday this week because of the holiday. It was weird, and my schedule at the fire department. So, but yeah, you can always look back and look at the meetings, and then you can. Clinton County Commissioner Josh Hewitt's Facebook page is a good place to find information, and I'll post those things on there. And I understand everybody felt like they were caught off guard, and I don't like feeling that way either. But it was the very beginning of a project, you know, and I think the public meeting was the first step. So we'll try to do a better job next time of alleviating that feeling. So yeah, You can always call the office here. You can check my Facebook page, which is, I'm not, sorry, I'm self-promoting, but, and you can always look on YouTube, so. All right. Anybody else before we move on to Judge Moore? Mr. Kimmel?
I do have a question.
Yes.
Why don't we chase the development instead of trying to bring development to the trail? Like Green Lawn Road, I'm not taking on them, but they already have a group of houses, you can put a trail on it somewhere similar to that. And then if
Yeah.
there was development on the other side, then you can say, you know what, as we're expanding, we're building on,
Yeah.
we can already have this established, and then the trail grows with it and connects it into Frankfurt instead of reaching up from Colfax, Frankfurt, trying to develop the whole region. I've seen Lebanon do this in a couple of places, and it looks nice and prepared that way. And it seems to be a lot more constructive and not so many roadblocks.
I don't disagree with that at all. I think we've been fairly targeted with areas that we're trying to develop right now. You know, obviously the interchange at 65 and 28 has been a huge focus for us. We're trying very hard to get that to go. If we can get houses to be, you know, targeted zoning, I think, I don't know if that's a term or not, but, you know, that's what we would want to do. Keep those things condensed to a certain area and not have it spread out all over the place. So I totally agree with you. Yeah.
I think one thing to note on that is the route, from my understanding of the conversations, was to, the state has always wanted to get Indianapolis connected to the top of the state. And they've tried to follow those old railroad beds as closely as possible. Well, they have a trail up to Colfax now, so the idea was to get from Colfax into Frankfurt because of where the current trail is established. And then from there, it just kind of ideally would follow the spurs in the state's mind, so.
Yes, Mr. Neal.
So many of them spurs start out good in a nice town, and they go up to points that just stop.
Right, yeah.
I mean, almost.
They've been abandoned
Almost
and-
all of them.
yeah.
I mean, they're trying to connect, and it's a good idea, but
Right.
they're never going to connect.
Well, that ship sailed because so much of it's been turned over into farm ground and,
Right.
yeah,
And so the railroad's been taken out.
yes, yeah, I agree.
And it's good, but it's bad.
Right. Yeah.
The people with the ideas aren't always coming to the ground level and looking at stuff.
right.
And I think that's the trouble sometimes.
Who else? I don't want anybody to go away disappointed they didn't get to speak or didn't get to ask a question.
How much does this study cost right now? And how much is it projected to cost if it's gotta be, expanded on for more time?
Okay,
one
that's a
question.
great- that's a-
Where's that money coming from?
That's a great question. I don't know the amount. So typically what we do with development projects like this is we have it's a economic development income tax. So everybody pays a little bit of income tax into this fund, and that's how we pay for professional services when we use engineers, architects, those type of projects. So I believe, I don't recall the amount, do you?
I think it was roughly 40,000.
Yeah. So, but which would account, I believe that would have counted as part of our, Liz, would that part counted as part of our
No, it was-
match?
So I believe the motion council made was up to like 36 or
Okay.
something. We went with Butler Fairman, which was our cheapest bid. So I think, Mike may remember, I think it was somewhere between 16 and 22. I'd have
Okay.
to look, and there's no, I've already talked to them, there's no increase in price because we're
Yeah.
slowing down the pace of the study to be more thorough. I emailed Jessica over there the other day and Alan, and we discussed the fact that we were gonna broaden a bit and come back in, and that price isn't changing. But you have to keep in mind, we have staff in-house that can help look at part of that and then send information and they add to it. So in Clinton County, we've never historically paid consultants for 100% of everything. Our comprehensive plans, our studies, State Road 28 study, we've always done 50% or more of the work
Okay.
in-house, and then worked with the consultant for, what services they bring to save money. So, but no, we did not go with the higher bid. We had three different proposals for that.
Yeah, I do
study.
remember that.
Butler Fairman was the lowest, and so no, it wasn't the 40. I can find that number
Okay.
if you need it,
We're
but
close.
I think Mike and I are both recalling it. He was thinking 16, I was thinking like 22, but I think there was an option in there for if we wanted to move forward with talking to new landowners
Oh,
which is
yeah,
what
then
we're
that
gonna
pro- yeah.
need, so it's gonna be that lower number.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Regardless of where the trail ends up going,
Mhm.
will property owners along that trail see an increase in taxes
I can't imagine that, no. I don't think we can target somebody that's on a trail for tax purposes as a property owner. That I don't know. You know, I don't know the answer to these questions, guys. Tax, I would have to refer, I mean, that's purely a council. They're the ones that set the tax rate, the county council. They're our counterpart. We're the executive body. They're the financial. And so I think the idea is that everybody in Clinton County, see, this money comes, you know, out of the edit fund, like I was, I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Jake,
What? Jake, like I was telling Jake, so everybody in Clinton County is paying for this study to be done. And so we would not go back and say, just because you live along the trail, we're gonna make you pay more. So. I mean, the grand scheme, or the big idea is that it benefits everybody in Clinton County. Unfortunately, it's gonna run through your front yard. So, and I totally understand why that's not appealing to you, so. Who else? Yes, ma'am.
At what point do you make a decision, I mean, timeframe?
We were talking, Mr. Neal asked a similar question. So the opportunity to apply for the grant, which there's no way we could fund this project without a grant. I'll just tell you that up front. The period for that closes, I believe, December 1st. So then if we don't make a decision by December 1st, then we would have to wait until the next grant window open. So I don't believe that the study is going to be finished in time for us to give an up-down vote by December 1st. So we paid for the study. We want to see it through, get what we paid for, and then go from there. So I can't imagine that when the study gets completed that we're going to change our minds, but you know, but we've already paid for it, so we want to get it. I mean, we paid for it. So, who else? Okay. No, I'm moving on to the judge. All right, Judge, you're up.
All right.
Thank you all. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you remaining cordial, and we had a great conversation this morning, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. That makes my job easy, and hopefully you guys are happy too. So, Judge. the
Okay,
floor is
thank you.
yours.
I'll be brief. Just want to give you an update on some of our fees and Public Defender Commission, which is a reimbursement program, and then a request regarding the board for that. So Josh was probably here when we started in 2018. The other guys are new on that. So both Judge Hunter and I have in our budgets line items for pauper attorneys. Those are attorneys for criminal cases and also my juvenile cases where they can't pay for their own. Up until a couple years ago, each of us were at $200,000 per year. We went through a study to see if it would benefit us to go through Public Defender Commission, which is a program in the state where we get reimbursed for a portion of those fees. It required a number of things. We had to set up a board, set up bylaws, and then we do quarterly reports on all of our attorneys, the number of cases they're assigned during the quarter, what type of cases they are, and then the number or the amount of claims that we have paid them for the quarter. They are continually monitoring that. We are monitoring that to make sure attorneys don't get too many cases and also make sure attorneys are qualified for the cases they do. And that's part of the benefit of being in that state program. With that, we're also monitoring how many cases those same attorneys have in other counties, because the idea, again, is not to have attorneys that are too overwhelmed, to make sure they give good representation. When we do all that, we submit a report every quarter to them with all that information, and then there's a formula the state goes through that, and we help them with that, and we get a certain amount back in reimbursement. Certain cases are reimbursed, certain cases are not reimbursed, but so far what we've been doing is they estimated we would get about $100,000 back per year. And so since we've started, with the second quarter of 2018, we've brought back $372,000 back to the county. As a result, for the last several years, both Judge Hunter and I have reduced our budget requests from $200,000 a year to $150,000 a year. The money that comes back can only be used for pauper attorney fees, and so we have reduced our budgets and we use that money that comes back from the state. So it's been working very well, I think. We will continue to do that. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of monitoring, it's a lot of book work, but it's been, I think, a good thing for the county. So we've been doing that. We'll continue to do that. As part of that, we have a board. We have a 3-person board that we had to set up. The original board was Charlie Kraus, an attorney, Kent Ryan, an attorney, Eric Spencer, who had been both a probation officer and director of our community corrections. So good involvement in the legal system there. The state has changed a little bit of that process. Originally, 2 of those individuals were appointed by the judges and 1 was appointed by the commissioners. The state has changed that. They now appoint 1 of those positions, and we still have the authority to appoint 2.
Okay.
And so the term for Kent Ryan and Charlie Kraus has expired. Judge Heiner and I would like those to be reappointed. They would be the judge appointments, but we would like your approval for that, just so I've got that in the minutes, and I can send that to the state to show they've been reappointed. We're in the process of getting the 3rd one. My guess is it'll still be Eric Spencer. It'll just be an appointment from the state. So that's kind of what we're doing. If you have questions about that process or anything, and then my request would be just kind of an affirmation of the judges' appointments of Charlie Kraus and Kent Ryan for another 2-year term.
You guys have any problem with that?
No.
Do you need a motion?
Yeah, let's make a motion.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and reappoint the 2
Okay.
positions that's open.
Second.
Okay, motion carries 3-0.
Okay, perfect,
All right,
thank
guys.
you.
Yep.
If you have any questions, let me know at that, but we'll continue to be part of the
Thanks.
program.
That's
Thank
good
you.
news. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
All right, thank you, guys.
Okay, next on the agenda this morning is Mr. Dave Little, and he is here regarding the vacation of an alley in Little Lakes Estates. Good morning, Mr. Little. So do we need to recess the meeting and go into a public hearing? Okay, you want to start before he speaks or after?
Let him do
Okay.
the intro then.
Okay.
You've all seen the petition to vacate, and I do have some exhibits to show. I do have first the official proof of publication, which I'll give to the secretary for your records, which shows that it was properly published. Back in 1989, we had added 2 lots to Section 2 of Little Lakes Estates, and the Carl Anderson, who was the surveyor, put on the bottom between 2 lots roadway. Just put it in for future reference. Pass those out to the full, through your and the full commissioners.
Thank you, sir.
As you can see at the bottom there, it says roadway. You can just put that in for allowing access if ever needed. Over time, that access is not necessary, and I have then I had interest in lot number 60, so I had Ron Wary propose a legal description, which is in the record that you had for the petition, and added 0.45 acres to lot 60, which also gave that lot some access to the lake. Pass these up to the.
Well, where's these located at, Dave?
They're on the
Compared to your
County Road 100 East,
100?
100 East on the west side of the subdivision,
Okay.
right near the grain bins that are there. If you
Yeah,
notice,
okay.
right in that
Yep,
area.
yep.
Thank you.
Well, back in then I platted that, and in a warranty deed back in 2004 when I sold it to Katrina Turner, and I actually platted this particular piece of property with that, adding that legal description. And over time, now a person named Ray Loschel, whose father was the first person to move out to Little Lakes Estates, bought that lot, and he's in the process of building a home, but he cannot get a building permit unless I have that word roadway removed and vacated. And that is what we're here for today. I'll show you another picture here just to give you some idea of the area, the 4-point area that was added to show that it does have lake access and how it adds to the lot 60. And So we're trying, and we're complying with the area plan to have it vacated. The neighboring, Bob and Betty Stevens to the south have already executed a quitclaim deed for their interest. They're not interested in any part of a vacated road, which technically you get half and half. They've already executed a quitclaim deed for this part to Mr. Rochel. So the main thing we need would be, and I did have submitted an ordinance to the board approving this as to vacate that roadway that was platted in 1989.
Okay. All right.
That's basically it.
Okay. So we need to have a public hearing. So we're going to go ahead and I'll entertain a motion to recess our meeting.
I'll make a motion to recess.
Second.
Okay, meeting has been officially recessed. We are now in a public hearing regarding the vacation of the alley at Little Lakes Estates. It's been proposed by Mr. Little. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak regarding the vacation of this alley? Yes.
Just note generally, it's important to note that's a street, a road right of way,
Mhm.
actually not an alley.
Okay.
But two, the planning commission has no objection to the vacation. This was plotted a long time ago. Little Lakes lots are actually very difficult to use because of their small size with today's standards and to get drainage for septic. So there's only one way a house could fit in this space. And fortunately, the neighbor to the south is willing to relinquish their claim on half the right of way. So I just want to let you know, we have no objection to vacating the road right of way. It will be on the Littles if they ever expand on the north side to find new access.
Gotcha.
That's correct. That's correct.
Gotcha. Anyone else? Gentlemen.
That was just gonna be my question. The lot size is 0.63 acres.
The
Plus the new,
Plus
right?
the-
Plus the
plus the
point
new,
four
so we're
five.
adding that.
the
Okay.
new one,
Gotcha.
let's see, now it's about, at the bottom here, I have a little, now it's 1.09
Yeah.
acres, okay?
Okay.
I've added that, yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
Better for, and it's able to put a septic system in it as well.
That's what my question was.
Anything?
Nope. I'm
Tom? No? Anyone else? No? Jerry? Just kidding. Okay, at this time, we'll close the public hearing, and I'll entertain a motion to
I'll make a
re-adjourn our
motion-
meeting.
I'll make a motion to re-adjourn the meeting.
Second.
I don't think that's a word, but
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Close
I knew
enough.
what I meant.
I knew what you meant. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve this, the ordinance for the vacation of this roadway in
I'll
Little
make
Lakes
a
Estates.
motion to vacate the roadway.
Second.
Okay. Motion carries 3-0.
They can-
All right, thank you, Mr. Little.
And you have the copies of the ordinance?
Yeah.
For you,
We'll get
okay,
it signed
fine.
for you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Next on the agenda this morning is Mr. Goff.
Thank you, gentlemen, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Take care, Dave.
Okay, thank you, thank you very much.
Good morning, Brandon. Yeah, you're here in regards to another alley. Is this an alley in Circleville, correct?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
3 easements.
Okay.
Between the 3 of our property, I'm Brandon, Cheryl, and Floyd. My house burnt down last September 9th.
Yep.
And I went to rebuild. Well, I can't rebuild because I have 3 easements that go in between her and I property along the west end of my property and then the north end between his and I property. So I was wanting those easements all closed, therefore so I can build a new house. We've already got the, here's that one too.
Thank you.
So wait a minute. Let me get, I'm gonna make sure I'm understanding this. Your house burnt down.
Yeah.
And now you can't build a house back? Where a house was before?
Yep.
I don't understand that.
Brandon's mom, he can build up, but he found out his property line, there's an easement in his, I think you're aware of it, Liz.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, it's all out, but the sewer and all that has to be switched. It's been closed since 1964, but since there's been no survey, they didn't know where.
Yeah, I'm not questioning Mr. Goff. I just I don't understand why you can't put a house back where
Because the house is longer than what his property is.
Yeah, we can't get you a permit to build off property you own. Can I just see the map so I can be?
Yeah, that's the only reason.
I think Mark has it.
Yeah. There you go. Sorry, that just caught me as odd.
Oh, yep, yeah, this is over in, in Circleville, and this is a very strange easement that runs through here. We think it might have been a remnant from like an old school or something, but it is a platted easement the county commissioners own, and the zoning ordinance does not allow us to issue a permit across an easement owned by the commissioners, so it would have to be vacated before we could issue a permit on it.
Okay, thank you.
I don't,
I
don't know what else
You're all
I'm
three,
supposed to
all
say.
three landowners? Everybody's in agreement?
Yep.
You guys are you guys against this at all?
No.
No, okay.
I'm not, no, there's a.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to pass ordinance 2021-08.
So I'll make a motion to,
Okay, great. You second it?
Second.
Okay, motion carries 3-0, Mr. Goff. Sorry, hopefully you get your house built now. We'll get this signed and,
All right.
Lead you back over there.
Right.
There's the second copy.
okay. There's that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for being here today. Okay. Jordan. Okay, next on the agenda this morning is Mr. Greg Williamson. He's here with the library board appointment. Good morning, Greg.
Hey, Tom, does this one need the ordinance number put on it?
So Andy Bacon, a member of the library board, has moved, and so we need to have a new board member appointed. We have received a request by Miss Peggy Clinny to take that vacancy. She's willing to serve the remainder of Andy's term,
Okay.
which is about 3 years, and so we just need your approval on that, so we could move forward.
Lenny's been a long-time employee, is that correct? And
Yeah.
has a lot of experience, so that's a no-brainer for me. You guys have any objections?
Nope.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve Ms. Clenny.
So moved.
second.
Okay, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Oh,
You have
what I
to sign
missed.
something.
Okay. Okay, next up's Rick Campbell with the highway update. Good morning, Rick.
In regards to bridge number 55, which is on 250 West, carries Creelmore Creek, I have I have two papers I need Josh to sign.
Okay.
For right of way. One's for funding, and the other one is that we will follow the regulations.
Okay, thank you.
I might add, we're done with our pug mixing. We got 500 north pug mixed, new road from 39 to 75. We also did part of 100. It was right there, so we just tied them in. And central paving will be wrapping up 1100 east this week, they said. They didn't work yesterday. They're supposed to come back today, so I assume they're out there. And right now, I've got the guys cutting brush and cleaning up some 11s from chip sealing, the loose stone in the intersections. That's all I have.
Sounds good. Good.
You guys have any objections to these right-of-way payments? Okay.
I do not.
Okay, for Bridge 55. Okay. Okay, there you go, Rick.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Okay, Liz, you're up. Morning, Liz.
Morning. I don't have a whole lot for you. I still don't have news on Fickle. It turned out they were waiting on Judge Moeller, who would come down here. So anyway, our attorney believes that if Mr. Fickle does not show up, the judge will issue a warrant for his arrest this morning. So we'll see how that goes. I'll try to keep you updated.
Okay.
I don't have anything on the mowing or unsafe structure front, but I do have a request for a refund that I need to bring to you. So by way of reminder, this is a little bit confusing sometimes. Building code standards themselves are actually adopted. That ordinance is adopted by the commissioners, and it is an assigned power to the Area Plan Commission as opposed to a state law power. So that means different jurisdictions do it differently. In our jurisdiction, we've chosen to assign enforcement of building code to the Area Plan Commission, and it's supervised there. Some jurisdictions have separate departments, and more permits, we just don't. But you still have the authority over anything involving finances with fees and refunds. So what we had is a company pulling a residential solar installation, pulled a permit for that with one inspection and one trip fee. So it's a total of $50 out of your fees. And the customer then backed out of their agreement with that company and hired a different company who is now pulling a separate permit for the same project. The original company is requesting a refund. The Plan Commission did grant the permit fee refund last night, but had no authority to do the inspection or the trip fee. So that's what I'm asking you, if you are willing to do. It'd be a total of $50. We do have a line item in the Area Plan Commission budget for cutting refunds in the occasions that they are requested. It's just your pleasure.
Fine with me.
It's fine with me.
Yeah, motion to refund.
Second.
Okay, motion carries 3-0 to issue the refund.
We'll go ahead and get that claim sent out. That's the only thing I've got, unless you have anything else for me.
I don't.
Nope.
All right, perfect, thank you.
Okay, old business, guys. Looks like we got an addendum to the Braden agreement, and Jordan, I know you've been working on this.
Yes, so we were able to, the insurance from TL got back to us, and they're covering the cost of the copier based on the
Condition it was in.
yeah, based on the book value that was on the books of the company that owns it.
Got you.
So it's, and then we're also getting payment from the insurance for other damages that should cover the ceiling and some other things. So we should be able to move forward with the Braden agreement to replace the damaged copier at the extension office.
Okay.
So
Sounds
Good
good.
with that? All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the
Okay,
Braden
second.
agreement.
Okay, motion carries 3-0. All right, the next item under old business is a pay app number 13 for JG Case. JG Case, as you remember, is they're the folks that are putting in the water for the infrastructure expansion. So I entertain a motion to approve that pay app.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, and then now we have pay app number 12 from Atlas Excavating for the sewer portion of the infrastructure expansion. I'll entertain a motion to approve
Motion
that
to
pay app.
approve.
Second.
Okay, motion carries 3-0. I have a resolution 2021-11 authorizing signatures on closing documents for the skating rinks, which is going to take place tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. As you all recall, we agreed to sell the skating rink to Miss Baber for $30,000, and so.
Motion to approve the signatures.
Second, okay, motion carries 3-0.
And Josh, on that.
Yes.
I just got an email through this meeting wanting to see if we could move it to 1:30. Would that still work for you?
Instead of 10:30? Yeah, that's fine. I don't
Is that
have a
okay?
problem.
I can change the time on that, but.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay. There you go, Mark. Okay, any other old business? No, seeing none. I have new business. This morning we have a contract from American Structure Point in regards to the fairgrounds and certain improvements that the Fair Council is wanting to make on the grandstands. Is that correct?
Yeah, so this is, dates back a few years to when they had a assessment done of the fairgrounds, and I believe council has budgeted close to $500,000 over the course of 2 or 3 years to do a grandstand renovation. This is a service agreement for Structure Point to manage the construction of the grandstand. So
Okay.
Motion to approve the agreement.
I will second.
Okay, motion carries 3-0. Any other new business? Anyone?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Renee. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tom has worked on a resolution for us to be able to complete the purchase from our building underneath the water tower. Once that work is completed, U.S. Forestry is going to purchase that building for $10,000.
Oh, wow.
So Tom has worked on the resolution, so I think, what is our next? It will have to come before them. Is it
Correct.
at all?
Yeah, just, it comes before them at some point in time, and then U.S. Forestry signs it, and that's it.
So they're looking at probably mid to late October. And obviously, they understand that the water tower work has to be completed before they can get in to get that building. So we do have that. So 2 weeks ago, I met with Motorola. They came, had a design review. Our equipment, as you recall, we had went ahead and entered our agreement because they thought it was going to be 6 months for our new equipment to come in. They've actually pushed that forward. Like, we will probably have our new radio equipment before the end of the year.
Good.
So we had that meeting with them and talked about the scope of the project. And so we're moving forward with that. Our final, I thought we were going to have some good news for you. Last Thursday, AT&T showed up to make some connectivity in the back room. I had a phone call from IPSC from the state yesterday. AT&T installed the wrong equipment.
Okay.
So we are once again waiting on AT&T to remove what they shouldn't
The
have
wrong
put in,
things and
the
put the right
wrong,
things
and
in.
put in the new. The new equipment was shipped. It came yesterday, actually. My phone call was late from them. So the new equipment had been shipped. So now, once again, waiting on AT&T.
Back to square one.
I mean, I was excited last week when they came because I thought, man, we're getting really close. I still think we're close, but
Sure.
again, waiting on them. So
Okay.
hurry up and wait, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything else unless you do.
I guess the silver lining on that cloud is we're still ahead of where we would have been because, you know, we still would have been waiting for that water tower.
Sure,
so, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. So, it was definitely the right move.
Yes.
I don't have. You guys have any more questions?
Okay.
Thanks, Renee.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Any other department heads?
Good things.
Good morning.
Sheriff?
Real quick, federal inmate fund, 120,000 plus last month, as far as revenue, not including transportation and travel of those folks. So with that, the fund I think is sitting right at $1 million. So we're in good shape with that. Program's running strong, no issues. Vehicles, we're still waiting on the vehicles that we ordered, I think, back in January. And I guess we're all victims of COVID-19. So they've been built. They're standing by to ship. Where they're shipped from, I have no idea. So we call them every week, and we're on standby. So we're really not too late. It was September is the projected time that we were supposed to receive them. So hopefully we'll get the new vehicles for the deputies, and then we'll get moving into those here in the next month, hopefully.
Okay.
So with that, kitchen appliances were purchased. They should be delivered this week, so it's off the plate of the county. We don't have to worry about that. So that's about $40,000 worth of equipment that should be hopefully arriving as well. And just like anything, why? I have no idea, but we have to wait with everybody else. So those products should be showing up here in the next week or two. So with that, and I know this is going way back, the overhead garage door that was approved to purchase. Maybe it's a chip. I don't have any idea. We're still waiting on it. So I've made contact with Mulhops out of Lafayette, the overhead garage door company, and we're just kind of standing by for that. I have no idea why it's not ready, but it's not ready. So we're standing by for that. County Highway, just for you, Mr. Campbell, I talked to the state NDOT this morning in regards to all the road closures in northeast Clinton County. And all the farmers that are having to move around this equipment. We're going to try and work with NDOT. We're going to try and find some reasonable ways to get combines and heavy equipment around it. And it is a concern because it is going to be a little bit of a danger, especially off of State Road 26. Now, the county roads may not be so bad, but we're going to work with NDOT and the sub that's in charge of it. And I think it might be split between Frankfort maybe Kokomo or Howard County sub. So
Okay.
NDOT should be, they're very responsive. They've called me back, and I've talked to them. So I mean, it's the conversation's happening, and so hopefully we'll get some issues resolved with all the barricades for equipment that has to get around that, because it is going to be, it's going to get dicey at 2 in the morning when you have a combine sitting out there, tractors, trucks, trailers, everything else. So we'll work with NDOT on getting that done. One question for Commissioner Brewer, retiree insurance. I know you had a meeting, hopefully in the last, so the guys are just asking for an update there,
Yeah.
deputies.
Yeah, so we had a meeting in August. So the statute, and Josh was there, so he can correct me if I'm wrong here. The statute allows early retirees to stay on our insurance. However, there are some specific qualifications, and I don't know them off the top of my head in terms of years of service and age that you have to qualify. But they will be required to pay 100% of the premium. The county's not going to pay any of the premium for them to stay on. But they are eligible, if they meet the criteria of that statute, to stay on our county insurance.
Very good. That'll give us an opportunity to do some financial planning with some of the deputies through Baird and One America. So, I mean, if they know they got to pay 100% at the end, then that's better than knowing they don't have anything at all. So they can prepare for that financially through some savings and different accounts that they can do. So,
And I'll send you the statute. Bob Pye, our consultant, had sent it over to us, and it was a little lengthier than I thought in terms of criteria. It was
right, absolutely.
There's multiple.
I mean,
things.
they have to meet the minimum of I'm guessing of 20 years service, and then probably an age frame as well. So.
Yeah, and there was. Yeah. It felt like it was going to be a very select few people that would actually.
And that's like even currently we would only have maybe one that would be eligible at this time. So, I mean, it's not something that is going to happen a lot. And a lot of times, you know, your spouse carries insurance, things like that. It may not be an option, but it is an option that they have if they have. I mean, it's a good option to have.
Yeah.
You have to have it. You've got it till you hit Medicare, Medicaid age. So.
Yep. So I'll send over the statute so you have it so you can talk to the guys.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that.
And then just to follow that, I think there's some action. We have to take some official action in order to put that into place, which I think we're still developing that particular policy with Bob.
Well, I'm hoping nobody retires in the next few months because I need everybody out there.
I mean, we'll figure it out if they do, but I'm just telling you, it may be, you know, something that takes effect first of the year, something like that. So.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate all the work that you put in on that. We have one deputy that's going to graduate September 20th from the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy, Nevin Creasy, so he'll be out there on the roadways. He will be free and out there working. So the academy has taken a little bit longer because of COVID shutdowns, things like that. We have had to do remote training with him. But Nevin Creasy will be out and about here working. Also, we have hired Michael Green and Brett Woodard. They are prior law enforcement. Michael Green hails from Monroe County. He's from Boone County, so it's nice to get that experience up here, and he is actually out there working now. So if you see a new deputy that you don't recognize, make sure you wave at him and talk to him. And also Brett Woodard is also from Boone County, and he is from the Indiana State Police Capitol Police Division, and young man, 20-some years old, and I think he just bought a house around Elizaville. So it's nice to get those folks out there and working. So he's finishing up his field training program right now. So hopefully in the next month he'll be out and working. So we're kind of catching up from where we were at. We have 2 deputies that are off on injury right now, and one maybe another 6 months, 5 months before we see that deputy, and then another one will be back hopefully in by the end of October. So sitting pretty good. So appreciate everything you guys have done. So thank you for all your support.
Okay, thank you.
Any other department heads? Yes, Ray. Good morning. Morning.
What smiles on?
As long as you're bringing good news.
You know what? It's always good news with me.
That's true. You're right.
Always. I am just a bright ray of sunshine.
No,
Right?
Smiling now.
Yeah. No, I really don't have much. I just want to kind of give you an update that Re-precincting or redistricting is slowly edging forward.
Okay.
However, I would like you guys to kind of draw straws, and whoever gets the short straw, I need just a little bit of input from you.
Okay.
Whoever gets that short straw within the next couple of weeks, if you could come up to see me,
Okay.
that would be fantastic. I just need to kind of know how you would like to move forward and get your opinion.
Okay.
We have not gotten, I've gotten some rudimentary maps so far. They show some slivers, as the state calls them. They show a little bit of funky things. I probably should get some input maybe from a city council member too, because it really is mostly concerned with the city of Frankfurt.
Okay.
Is where I'm seeing the anomalies there. And kind of see, they always like to try to re-precinct, which is not in their bailiwick, but something they like to do. But, maybe see what their thoughts are too, but before we go too far, just see how you're feeling. And I can explain to you at that time, whoever gets that short, are you doing nose goes?
I'm thinking.
Is that what you're doing? Okay. To see exactly what you're wanting. We have not gotten firm numbers from the state yet. They have not done anything, and it's expected by the end of this month, hopefully, we will get those numbers and we will get those maps. Fingers crossed.
Oh.
What are you thinking?
That annexation,
Annexation?
is that obviously that council district's gonna expand by quite a bit. Is that
That
is that part of
counts.
this redistricting, or?
No,
That'd be next.
this is census redistricting. So, not necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, if any annexation has already been done, that's already been taken into account.
It's not official, so, okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's not
Alright.
official till it's official, been here about 2 years, but,
Right. Okay?
okay,
Any questions?
no ma'am.
Alrighty. That really is kind of all that I have for you this morning. Just wanted to touch base with you
Okay,
and let you know.
thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
We'll get hold of you.
you.
Any other department heads? Okay, I know Greg Miller could not be here this morning. He's on duty at the fire department, but he did say that we're about 90% done on the east side. They're getting the flagpole installed this week. The final punch list has been finished, and we're just waiting on our certificate of occupancy. So we're looking at probably October the 3rd is the first day having a truck out there. So Saturday, October 2nd, I don't know what time yet. If you guys are available, we're gonna have an open house out there. So, but other than that, that's it as far as EMS. So, all right, commissioner reports.
Nope.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
canceled the meeting for
Yes,
AIC.
we need to cancel our next meeting, which is September,
21st, I think.
what?
21st.
September 21st. So let the record show that the commissioners' meeting on September 21st has been canceled. So our next meeting is then October 5th. Okay. All right, the matter of claims, we have claims dated Friday, August 20th in the amount of $23,200.70. We have Friday claims dated August 27th in the amount of $136,478.20. Friday claims dated September the 3rd, 2021 in the amount of $45,933.86. Biweekly claims dated September the 8th in the amount of $420,411.30. Court claims dated September 8th in the amount of $18,726.36. And claims dated September the 7th in the amount of $10,000.
Motion to approve all the claims.
And just for transparency's sake, we've had these claims in our docket online. We've looked through them. We've had them since midweek last week. So we do look at them.
Second.
Okay, motion carries 3-0 to approve claims. Payroll, we have payroll dated August the 8th in the amount of $401,840.11. And we have election payroll dated August 27th, 2021 in the amount of $3,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion carries 3-0 to approve payroll. We have minutes dated August 16th, 2021. I'll entertain a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, motion carries 3-0. Is there any other business that needs to come before the Board of Commissioners this morning from anyone? Okay, seeing no one. Oh, did you have something, Skip?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay.
I'll let it sneak in for a moment. Just take about a couple minutes. As many of you know, I'm working as a volunteer historian for the fairgrounds. And we're working toward seeking historic designation for what has been called the old administration building, which in reality has turned out to be a wait station for the interurban that came up Jackson Street, and a siding cut off onto Fairground Street in that area to service that facility. During the fair, I had a display out there showing some pictures and some of the newspaper reports I've had of the fair, just so people get a flavor of what we were doing. And I learned that a lot of people really appreciate having something in their hands they can look at, and not necessarily just on the internet. So some of them were unwilling to sit there and look at a screen as opposed to having something in their hands. So we learned that. Also had a chance to talk with Marilyn Chittick, who is working with a TPA project right now, and it's soon coming to a close if it hasn't already. And she recognized that I should probably call Kleckner, Tommy Kleckner down at the Indiana Landmarks at Terre Haute, which I did, and he pretty much echoed what she had to say, and he had some other things to say also. She suggested we find a board of about 9 members. I'm not sure that isn't a high number. I don't know. Maybe 7 would do. Maybe another number would do. I just don't know. We're still
A lot of cooks in the kitchen, Skip.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm afraid of. So, but we do have 3 or 4 that already stepped up and said, I'll serve to get this thing started. And we're going from there. One of the things we did get was clarification of the fact that Indiana Landmarks can only rule on what can be done to the exterior of the building. The interior of the building is pretty much up to yourself, and it does not protect it from being destroyed by any means. Tommy would probably come up here and look at it and tell us what we need to do with that. You were telling me not too long ago we were going to have somebody maybe come up there when they look at the grandstands and look at that building. I would like to know when that happens so I can be there and point out some things that I've seen.
Okay.
Because there are some things that are really serious with that building because of its age. It's at least 115, 120 years old. And it's, as I said earlier, related to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The next thing to do is continue to seek out members of the Historical Society for the Fairgrounds and get organized, file for our 501c3, and start working on that. Step up the historical search, because we need to know ballpark within a week or so of when that building was finally constructed and put into service, so we can put that in the paperwork. There was a survey not too long ago taken of historical sites, and that does not show up on that survey. So the first paperwork we do is to get that listed on the list, so that we can then move forward.
Okay.
So my question of you this morning is, I would like to hear a vote of support so we can move forward and make this a true landmark and get things done.
Sure. You have my support.
Yeah, mine too.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
From here on out, I would ask the public, if anybody is interested in working on this, let me know. If you can contact me through the extension office. They have my number. They'll let me know who's calling and things like that.
I need to get back to Mr. Bailey. Thank you, Skip. Do you have a copy of the deed for the fairgrounds?
I do not.
Okay, Beth Keeney knows where to find it, so.
Do I need that?
No, but I just thought you might find it interesting for historical purposes, because it was 1876, and it talks about how there was it was called the Clinton County Farmers Association donated that land to, yeah.
Somebody asked me who had it originally.
Yep.
At this point, I did not know.
Yep, originally it included all the land where those homes are on Alhambra and where the state highway used to be, where EMA is now. So, yeah. Yep, I've got a copy of it at home. I'll try to get it to you.
You have my email?
I do.
Yeah,
Yep. Okay.
Or flag me down when I'm walking by.
I can do that. Okay, any other business this morning for the commissioners? Okay, seeing no one, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion